so far. And as we wake up on our second day of travel, we can see the black smoke from Alreth kind of echoing our journey towards Callow. And that seemed to be the pyres that they were burning, those desiccated bodies that were kind of oozing the black fibers. Along our way on the second day, we found 3 carnivorous cows eating a horse. After Thane suddenly coming to consciousness, right at the perfect time, rushed into battle, something that Thane will later regret, or have Duncan try to regret it. So quickly dispatching the 3 cows, one having skewered our poor Brun, and Duncan kind of stuck his finger in there, feeling not flesh, but gritty mass. We kind of looted what was left of the bodies, and on the horse we found a satchel with some money that was kind of debated on how it should be spent, and a couple of silvers found their way into Duncan's pockets for him to do nefariously good things with. For the orphans, I believe. After the fight, Thane kind of put himself in one of the bushes, and Duncan went to go check on him, and that's when he realized he wasn't hiding away, but so much just sitting in the bush waiting for Duncan to answer so he could yell at him for going into battle without 100% team efficiency. Which, they were going into battle anyway, so might as well, jump right in. But I think Thane and Duncan then had a more closer discussion and kind of came to more equal terms, seeing both each other as equal soldiers willing to learn and adapt with. And we kind of went back over and saw that the bodies were burning, and we went through and saw that the humanoid body that was kind of with them is somehow missing. I guess no more needing any more further answers for those questions. We just went on our way and settled down for the night. When we started our official training, me and Thane, or Duncan and Thane, it didn't go necessarily as well as Duncan wanted to, but it was a step on the right foot, I believe. Brun and Navos also did some training, and some survival points and quick maneuvers, and in case you ever got in trouble. Much to their chagrin, turning and seeing Thane and Duncan's training, Duncan plunging his blade right into Thane's shoulder, I believe, then quickly trying to heal it. And, I'm sorry, put too much force into that one, and I apologize. And then we all kind of settled in for the evening, thus picking jobs and roles, who's scouting at what, or who's watching the party at what times during the night. And Thane kind of pulled out his wood carving and realized it was a little more carved than it was the last time he remembers. I do believe that's kind of where we ended off for day 2 of travel.
Anyone have anything to add to that?
That's pretty thorough.
Okay.
Pretty good.
That was pretty thorough.
Andrew just mentioned maybe doing palm reading during our watch. I don't know if you want to do that or just wave over.
So, where we left off, the evening watches were starting. So we actually begin with Brun. Brun, as you settle in to your spot to take first watch, and everyone else is kind of getting comfortable and bedding down for the evening, the darkness grows deeper and deeper. And throughout your watch, that sending you received at the beginning of the day, your boss reaching directly into your mind to give you the news that Vox is to be brought in alive. Before you realize, a couple of hours have passed, and your watch is over. Next up is Thane and Navos. You gonna wake them up?
Yeah, I'm going to wake them up. I'm going to wake up Thane first. Just kind of like... Morning. Guess you're up.
We are now. Forgot that I'm still playing feminine Thane is gonna sit up. Quiet night?
Yeah. Pretty quiet.
So we actually had a question for you. While it's just the two of us that are up. We'd have asked Duncan yesterday, but we feel like we know what his answer would have been, which was turn the other cheek or smile and thank them or whatever. We feel like when we get to where we're going to have a very difficult time not reacting to things. We were wondering if you had any advice. You strike us as someone who has been on the receiving end of things often and have maybe had to deal with that tactfully.
Yeah, he has.
You're right on several of those counts. Tactful becomes dicey. My best advice in Kahlo is keep score. Justice or vengeance or whatever it is you're feeling, I can almost guarantee right then is not the time or place for it.
We agree. We have come to recognize since leaving Seneca that maybe we have trouble regulating ourselves when we feel a certain way. Can we count on you to step in and backhand us or grab us? Or we would ask Duncan, but we feel like we disappoint him enough.
Between you and me, I don't think you've disappointed Duncan at all.
Well, you should have seen his face yesterday. And
I
Thane's
did.
just going to rub their shoulder.
You bite off more than you can chew.
Yeah.
You try to right every wrong, big or small, as soon as it happens.
That's how we were raised. But we know we need to be smarter in handling those things. So keeping score sounds like maybe a good way of handling that.
Remember how you dealt with Silverwater?
Oh, yeah.
You made the time and place for it. But you didn't forget for a second any of the shit he did to anybody. That time and place might be years and leagues away. But if you don't forget, you'll be ready. As for pulling you out of trouble, the goal's not to get in there.
Yeah.
I might have a few ways in that get us around the worst of the guards, and there are some seedier places that you can cause more of a scene.
Okay. Thank you. And if you have any other kernels of wisdom, we're happy to listen. Thanks. You get some rest. We'll wake up Nabos.
I have a question for you.
Shoot.
Are you all okay in there? Not
Oh, no.
you.
No, no, we're not okay. Yesterday was a very weird day.
I've had
Very
those.
weird. We've never lost time before. We've often been in places we did not want to be, and sometimes with people we didn't want to be with, but we've never lost time. we've never lost agency, and that is a very scary thing.
If it happens again. Do you want?
If it happens again, yeah. Ask us about Charlie.
Charlie.
And he was just a good friend.
Okay.
And Thane's going to go over and nudge Navos awake.
Navos, before you wake up, of what do you dream?
Oh. Navos is walking down a road. You could say maybe similar to Alreth's, but it's all stone and glass. Next to Navos is a shorter figure. Just cloaked in shadows. Can't make out what or who it could be. And there is a garden that the two walk through. It seems almost unending as the petals are glowing. They just keep moving as it feels like as the moon rises, that's the only light that they see. And they don't notice anybody else. They're more focused on just spending time with each other. The pain in the head starts. As the moon feels like it is approaching closer and closer. The flowers begin to wilt. They die away. As before Navos wakes up, the moon engulfs the two, seeing with the sigil engraved onto it. Good morning. Good morning. Sorry.
Oh, it's the middle of the night.
Sorry. It startled me a bit.
Sorry, we tried to be gentle.
That's okay. That's okay. Where would you like to watch?
I just figure we can wherever Brun was. It looks like he kind of set up a nice spot over there.
As you two work your way around the camp to settle in for the night, for your watch, you look around, keeping track of everything. You realize after a bit, the tree that Navos felled earlier with his Eldritch Blast is laying across the stream. You never heard any water change the way it was moving, no effort to put it that way. It's kind of moved upstream against the water. Thane, it feels like there's something weird, but you brush it off and figure you must have just misremembered where it had landed. Navos, it wasn't there. That is not where that tree landed. It almost hit you and Brun while you were practicing. There's no way in its current position it could have done that. And there's that tingle behind your eye as you make that realization. I believe you two wanted to do some things during your watch.
Yeah.
The tree movement is the most significant thing you realize throughout the night. Most sounds are pretty standard for the evening. Some far off creature sounds off deeper in the woods, but nothing of concern.
You can spot my eye staring at the branch, but we'll look away. Just hold his head. You mentioned a palm reading, by the way.
Yeah, we haven't had the opportunity of getting one from you yet, and we figured, well, it's quiet, and we might as well do it now, if that's okay.
Yes. I'm all set.
Okay, and Thane's gonna offer you their hand. Usually they're wearing like gloves, and they're gonna pull that off, and you're gonna notice that their hand is very pale and scarred, kind of at odds with what you have seen of how Thane looks up to this point.
I will take your hand with my left and place my right on top to read it. By the way, I want to apologize for last night. Before we get into this, I should have taken notice. I had no idea that it was somebody else I was talking to.
No one knew. I mean, how were you supposed to know? It was weird, Navos. Like, just the feeling like someone else is in control of you, and you're not yourself. And then you open your eyes, and suddenly you're someone else, somewhere else. It's just, I don't know. I know that it sounds crazy, but we're worried that it might happen again. So just, you may not have caught it the first time, but if you could catch it the second time, we'd appreciate it.
I will. I understand. It's not just losing memory, but it's the full loss of control that you don't have. You weren't willing to give up. If there's anything I can
that's
do to help, I mean, Brun's been training me. Is like a slap in the face or something to try to wake you up?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, just do what you can. If it seems like I am not who I'm supposed to be, if it seems like something is off, ask me about Maestre. It was a city-state near Seneca. That's where I did most of my training, in the trenches between my country and theirs. Saw some pretty awful things there. So not something that I would care to think about under normal circumstances, but I feel like it's very personal. And whatever this thing is that's taking over me, there's no way that they would know what that was like.
How would you know that?
Because I'm me.
do wonder. You say this was the first time, but I wonder if they've had their own life.
Now they did ask earlier today when I was thinking back on everything. It seemed like they were disappointed that it was me that they were talking to. They asked who I was. I was in this space, and when I told them who I was, they told me I wasn't who they were looking for, and then they left. I mean, maybe that means they'll leave me alone, but you know, maybe not. So just ask about my stray. That's all.
Will do. DM, that is a 12. If you'd like a roll while I'm reading the palm.
A 12 for the palm. You have seen many hands. You've seen and met many people. Have you ever met somebody who changes their face the way that Thane does? As far as you're aware.
Yeah, only people that seem to be able to do it once, similar to myself, but not even to this level that they can do it at.
With that in mind, you try to take your standard approach with this hand, looking at the different lines and judging the flexibility of the digits and the thickness of the calluses. And it's very odd how different this hand that Thane has presented to you is to everything else you've seen of them. It almost seems like it is disconnected from the individual, if that makes any sense. From what you've known of Thane, compared to what you're seeing here, it's discordant. They have calluses. They have scars that are thick and shine a bit across the skin, kind of crisscrossing like the knuckles and the back of the hand in particular. But beyond that, the strangeness of it makes it distracting to try and read. Take from that what you will.
I know you are a warrior, paladin. The scars, the wounds, they make complete sense, but other than that, your lines are very hard to read. Nearest...
Well, I guess we'll take that as a compliment.
I like it. I like reading these rare ones. We'll start off nearest your pinky, your warrior's path. Warrior scar. It's knotted in a way. I don't see this often. You really have lived a difficult life, but it's strange that it's almost seen tangled. It gets caught up. It feels like you've attempted a lot of things on your as your travels will begin, but I wonder how much you have learned besides it just being a haze, just going through what you have gone through. Below that, we hit your wizard's path. It's swirled for some reason. It's like a snake trying to swallow its tail, but before it fully wraps around, it's avoiding it. It makes me wonder, what pulls you to your order? It feels like something inside of you wants it, but sometimes forgets who gives the order itself. With Brun, you could see how deep the lines were. The repetition from years of use. Even though you have these scars, your lines are shallow, but prismatic almost. They split, they braid. It's like your hands forget what they did. They pick up the knife differently from the day before. I don't know if it's the shifting that you're able to do. Maybe it warps the lines. But it doesn't explain this last one. Leading up to your fourth finger, the God's Mark. It disappears. It crashes past your wizard's path, but it just vanishes. To me, this feels like there is no destiny set for you. I don't know if this could be a decision or event that hasn't played out yet, but it feels like something that once you see it, you have to take the control. I wish I could plan more for what this could be, but it feels like something is going to come eventually.
Dave's going to internalize that. I was going to say more, but this baby.
I just love the dramatic, like, the palm reading, and then it's immediate baby
What?
giggle.
Gosh, Evan, stop interrupting. Jeez.
Yeah, Evan. Yeah, so through that, Dane's gonna like lean in and sit back, and like some things it seems like it really resonates with them, and then other things it seems like maybe they don't want, either they don't agree with your assessment or they don't want to believe in it. But the part with when you mentioned this God's line, they're going to be very attentive to that part, and then they're going to be quiet. 7 or 3 seconds.
I've never seen it before. I mean, for most people, I can kind of see what would they be best at, what would their final moments be, but yours is just gone. If this personality change happens again, I hope we can figure out a better answer, but maybe that's, once that is converged, that could see what lays left. And I know you don't remember, but we did do a tarot card reading. It was a sleeping dragon that we pulled. And I told you to look to the stars, to trust yourself. And I hope you do. And I will listen more to what has been spoken. And now we sit here and stare at each other in the eyes.
Your watch continues without interruption. The stars above are a little clouded over. You can still see them if you decide to look, but in general, Your watch goes just fine. Next up is Farney. You gonna wake them up?
Yep. Just a light tap.
Ah, my turn already.
I know it does fly by, but didn't notice anything strange so far.
Good. Hopefully that bodes well for the rest of the evening. You two should get some rest. I have a feeling we're going to be needing it. And you can see Farney is kind of sweating a little bit. It seemed that their trance was not the most restful. Right. Well, I suppose I'll be waking Duncan up in a couple of hours. And they go and start heading toward a fairly tall tree. And you'll see them kind of scamper up toward the top. Very graceful. And they disappear up into the canopy. You assume for a height advantage.
Okay. Yeah, well, lay back down. And I will take a look at my journal.
What you looking for in your journal?
When I open it up to a new page, inside of it, scrawled out in Undercommon, it says, "You were not meant to be remembered." And we'll try-
Undercommon in general is not typically written out.
Okay.
So the marks are not something that people tend to practice very much. So it is already a rough looking language. There is a lot of discomfort behind the words scrawled on your page. There is anguish to them. There is rage. There's a lot that makes this already ugly language even more of an assault on the eyes, let alone the message that it carries. You were saying?
Immediate close, laying back down, but not getting any more rest.
If you do not continue your long rest, you will gain a point of exhaustion. Just so you're aware. Okay.
Yep.
Time passes on Farney's watch. Navos, you lay there not resting, tossing, turning, not paying attention. You do hear at some point during Farney's watch some kind of shrieking roar type something in the distance. Eventually they come down.
No, you're good.
Eventually they come down, you assume, after about 2 hours. It feels for you like an eternity, just laying there restless. Duncan, you have a hand gently shaking your shoulder, and a familiar wood elf leaning over you. Duncan, it is time for your watch.
Oh, morning already. All right.
Almost. The sun is starting to breach the sky. There was disturbance.
Kind of disturbance.
Something large was hunting. And I suspect it might have something to do with the traveler we did not find. There was some kind of... The direction we're headed, I was trying to get a better look up ahead. It seems there's some kind of larger encampment up along the road, and there were screams. I assume whatever was hunting found their encampment. I don't know what that means for us, but it should be discussed in the morning when everyone's awake.
Agreed.
I would recommend you keep an ear out, especially.
Yes, I'll keep both of them. Yep.
And you realize that Farney only has one ear and is very upset by your... No. That's a joke. That is a joke. Right, well, good watch to you. And they will go settle down.
And I'll go take my respective position, kind of nearby the river, kind of waiting for the sun to rise, kind of planted against a tree. I'll kind of mumble some things to myself and wait out my watch.
While you are sitting and watching and listening, your ears catch a very slight rustling in the trees and bushes. And you trace where the sound is coming from, at least where you think it's coming from. You see eyes glinting in the low firelight.
Mm-hmm.
There are 3 eyes, kind of asymmetric, close enough together that they must be on one face. Whatever it is stays well back from the fire, from the extent of the light that you have available, which the fire's died down pretty comfortably at this point, unless you've been tending it to be larger. You see kind of an unfolding in the shadows just at the edge of that firelight, where whatever this is moving in unnatural ways. The eyes are locked on you. You realize there's a small something glinting with metal that is deposited just outside the range of your sight. And then the eyes are gone. There's no further sound, no further indication.
So I'm definitely pulling my sword out. Kind of first making sure that I saw what I saw. Kind of going back in my head, replaying that memory. All right, there was definitely something out there. Very cautiously, with my sword drawn, I'm walking across the camp to where I saw those eyes.
On the ground in front of you is something kind of familiar. It is the small metal dragon that had been hanging out with Brun back at the temple. It is damaged and splattered in blood. There are some shreds of fabric clutched to it in its tiny little hands, and as you get closer, the light in the eyes flickers on briefly to turn and look to you, and then it falls still again.
All right. Duncan will quickly put his sword away and kind of wrap his arm around it as delicately as he can, as like it was a fallen small animal of some kind, and kind of give it a once over if I could see if there's anything that caused this amount of damage on it. Like was it cut or was it ripped? Was it burned? Kind of assessing the damage.
Give me a flat... let's go intelligence, I think.
Okay. Flat intelligence. It looks a little cocked, but that's a nat 20.
All right, I'll allow it.
I mean, I can move my camera down. We can look at it. But it got cocked in the corner of my
I will
tray.
trust you. I will
Okay.
trust you. You inspect this tiny creature. You bring it over to the firelight to get a better look at it. After taking a final look through the shadows to see if there's anything remaining. To no avail. Inspecting this creature, this construct, there are parts of it that are dented, like it was crushed a bit, like it received some kind of blow to it. One of the wings is missing. And there's a small amount of oil or something like that that leaks out from where it had been attached.
Mm-hmm.
The fabric is very familiar to you as well. It seems very similar to something that you had seen Kevin wearing. The light inside of it is still there. It is very weak and flickery, and it flares every once in a while, causing the thing to spasm just a little bit, like just a limb twitches here or tail flicks wildly there. But other than that, you hesitate to call it alive, if it ever was.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever's happened to it is not a positive change.
Yeah, I think holding kind of this thing, realizing that there's something between this machine and Brun and Kevin. Immediately going over to where Brun is, and kind of nudging him awake, like, "Hey, wait a minute, wake up! Something's happened."
You, before you do that, very quickly, if you interrupt his long rest and he does not complete it, he will also receive a point of exhaustion. You've got maybe an hour left of your watch.
I don't think this can wait. This has a piece of Kevin in
Okay.
it. Hey,
Continue.
After like the first nudge, and it's that second harder nudge, Brun's eyes just kind of like snap up and open, and it like immediately sort of looks to you. Huh? What's up?
What is this thing? What is this thing?
What the?
What's your connection to this?
It's Comcom.
What? And Brun like reaches out and like takes Comcom from your hands, and is just like looking at it. This was. I left this with Kevin.
I know,
It was-
and I'm gonna immediately show them that piece of fabric.
How did it?
I just found it. It came right out of the woods. Something has damaged it.
It's a toy. It's supposed to be a toy. How did it get all the way out here in the dark?
And that's my
And
question too. What do you know about this? Because I think this was your thing to pick up. This only came around when you came around.
Yes. It was a gift from Mahir's father. I was supposed to take it back so he could give it to Mahir. Or as far as I know, he just told me there was a package to pick up and bring back. I assumed it was for me here. And I figured it wouldn't do us any good to take it with us, so I left it with Kevin.
Did you even know if it was dangerous? Did do something to Kevin? Kevin was already telling me before we left that something happened between the two of you.
If this thing hurt Kevin, if Comcom hurt Kevin, it was not my fault. I had no idea that it could do anything. I thought it was a toy.
It's times like these that you have to sit down and you have to really think. You know, Rule 51: never tinker with things beyond your comprehension. You didn't know what it was, and you gave it to a child. It found us for a reason. Why did it come back?
That I don't know.
Very quick point of clarification. The eyes, the 3 eyes that you had seen, were much larger than this thing. Humanoid, but a little bit larger.
Okay, I was understanding the eyes that I saw was just the dragon. I didn't realize there was a second thing. Okay. There was a second thing back there too. Okay.
It was deposited at the edge of the shadows by something unfolding it from the shadows. Sorry, my bad.
You're good.
Something. Now that I'm actually thinking back again, there was actually something else in the woods there too. It brought it here. And kind of dropping off this dragon, I'm going to head back over to kind of where I saw the second pair of eyes in the woods, kind of looking for signs of tracks or of any presence of being there.
Brun takes a second before he's just like, oh, I could go back to bed. I'm so close. I just need 1 more hour to get the... and like foists himself up to follow Duncan to where it happened.
No one else was in the room where it happened.
So, would you two like to do? One person has advantage on investigation, or you're rolling separately, or what are you guys looking for here?
Duncan's going to do his investigation whether or not Brun's going to call anything out.
Specifically, what are you looking for?
So I'm looking for signs of a presence, tracks of any kind, looking for if they left anything other besides the dragon behind.
So sorry. Duncan, that to me sounds like it's going to actually be a survival check.
Mm-hmm.
To look for tracks and signs. Brun, what are you looking for?
I want to look over Comcom and see. I want to look at like the damage and see was it shredded, was it bitten, was it hit with a hammer? Like just give Comcom a once over and see if that can give us any clues.
That does sound like an investigation. Do you want to use intelligence, or do you have a different stat? Since you have fighting knowledge, I'll say you could use a different stat, perhaps. With the investigation.
Could I use wisdom instead, just to give me a +1? Because going strength doesn't really make sense.
I would allow wisdom.
Okay. That's
digging into your personal knowledge. Duncan, what'd you get for your survival?
So I used a separate second dice, and I am again willing to show you the camera. That is a second nat 20 in a row.
All right, he's absolutely cheating.
Absolutely am not.
Duncan is
Second
heavily
dice?
invested in this
It's
shit right
completely
now.
different dice. I was like, oh, maybe I'll get lucky if I switch dice. It was true. I will count
and
this, however, as my did the recast or the retelling of what happened last adventure advantage.
Oh, that's right. I didn't grant you anything for that. I'll think about that and grant it to you after a break. Brun, what'd you get for your
16.
investigation? 16. 20 and a 16. Duncan, looking through where the thing had dropped, you take like a torch with you, I assume, to get a better look.
Mm.
The sun is beginning its ascent. It's just barely peeking over the horizon. Just barely.
Mm.
The light is showing, right? The sky is getting brighter, but you still are limited with your vision. You find a variety of tracks that are oddly spaced and kind of disjointed looking, where there's a couple here, a couple over there. The stance is kind of weird. And you see almost a hand, but the fingers are stretched out and long, and there's too many knuckles. And like there's a drag mark from some kind of tail. It looks furred, the way that it's kind of brushed the ground,
Mhm.
but there's like sharp sections to the drag where hair would kind of flow one way, but something sharper or stiffer is in there as well. And that's mainly what you're gonna find. From looking closer at Comcom, it seems like it was hit from the side by something very solid, kind of a swing type motion, just based on the direction that the plates are crunched.
Mm-hmm.
And then it probably impacted something else, which is how the wing came off.
Mm-hmm.
Beyond that, you're not sure why it has blood on it, because it doesn't bleed. It's got oil, but it doesn't bleed. And you're not sure why it's got Kevin's fabric. Apparently, Kevin's fabric.
Does it... And this is more of a specific question that may or may not be answered by that 16. Are there like scratches on the metal that look like teeth marks? Because hearing Duncan talk about it, that's something a cat would do: carry prey in its mouth and leave it there.
No, you do not see that.
Okay.
About now, with all of your investigation and your conversation, the end of the long rest is approaching. Duncan and Brun, you are currently awake. Navos, you're laying awake. Thane, are you asleep?
Yes. Definitely.
Okay.
One of us has to get a good
Yeah.
night's
Yeah.
sleep. Well,
All
two
right,
of us.
Duncan
Duncan's
got
fine.
his. Duncan got his.
Duncan
Oh, so
did-
Navos is hearing this entire conversation as well
Uh-huh.
because Brun is
awake.
not
Yeah,
keeping
he's like,
quiet.
They got it. They got it.
They'll sort it out.
No, before this game started, I told myself that Thane was going to get more sleep than I've been getting. So
Somebody's got it.
I'm
Damn
glad
the-
somebody
damn the
in
rest
your
of you.
life is
That's
doing
the
it.
ultimate fantasy.
I was going to say it truly is a fantasy game.
yeah.
Proper sleep.
Anything is possible.
So, what doing, friends? Are
As
you
everybody's
waking
kinda
people
getting
up? Are you...
roused up. Yeah, as it comes to the end of the watch, I'm looking at these tracks. There's clearly something has visited us to here. Starting with Thane, I'm going to start waking everyone up.
Before, like, as we're having that investigation, as you're going back, Brun reaches out a hand and sort of gently sort of grabs onto your the arm of that hand, because that's your left, correct?
Here's my left hand's gone. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, just like reaches out and grabs your left forearm and goes, Duncan. If something happened to Kevin, I will accept full responsibility for putting him in danger.
Yeah, of course you will. And I'm going to keep walking.
Oof.
This is really good.
Fucking brutal. Like the three comic book panels that took place in that picture, all silhouetted like immediate mental image, and I love it.
So I'm going to Thane, who I view, unfortunately, as the closest other person I have here.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, rude. What a backhanded compliment.
Jeez.
You're welcome.
Listen, two.
Hey, we're on the same side. And I'm kind of like nudging him awake, or them awake.
Yeah. It's morning.
Yeah, it's morning. Something visited us.
Oh, Thane's gonna get up. Both weapons are out.
They're not here anymore. Something was out in the woods last night.
Okay. Like a person?
More like a beast of some kind. And I'm gonna keep moving over to find where Farney is to kind of wake him up. Unless Navos is closer.
I'd say Navos is closer. Farney tends to stay a little further from everybody. They're very used to being alone, so they kind of tuck themselves away, even if you weren't on watch, so that they would be somewhat hidden.
All right, then Navos, you're up. And as I'm still talking to Thane, kind of moving over to try to find a place where I can put my fingers where I'm not going to get stabbed. To kind of wake up Navos.
As you walk nearby, you can see my eyes already open, just kind of staring up.
A little bit bloodshot.
Yeah, I'm looking kind of delicately for a place to touch him, and then I kind of realize your eyes are open. Yeah, just like I told Thane, I don't know if you heard me. Something was here in our camp last night.
I heard. And I'm sorry if anything did happen. I'll just start getting my stuff packed up.
What's he talking about?
Something visited the camp last night, a beast of some kind. And it dropped off. You remember that metal dragon that Brun had?
Yeah.
It dropped off that and a piece of the fabric that I swear Kevin was wearing before we left Alreth. And then I go to find out, and I hope Brun can kind of like see me for where I'm standing, you know?
Brun is walking over towards the camp.
The camp is not large.
Yeah. So I'm pointing my nub down behind me to where Brun is. That he didn't even know what it was.
What did the beast look like? Did you get a good look at it?
I saw its eyes. It had 3 eyes. It dropped this off and walked into the woods. I was too busy with the dragon. I gave it to Brun. When I went back to look for tracks, it was gone.
Was it small? Was it Kevin's
seemed
size?
No, it definitely seemed larger and had one more eye than Kevin does normally.
What is a Kevin? See Farney kind of stretching for the morning.
Kevin is a boy, all back in Alreth.
Do we need to turn around?
We can't.
I'm not sure.
we don't have nearly enough time to go back. We are nearly to the city. And the samples, I don't know what kind of preparations they did on these boxes, but those aren't going to last much longer. Especially if it's body parts, as you seem to.
It doesn't sound best. I understand, but it may not. The blood may not be somebody that we know. Farney, I don't know if you heard, but there was a screech before, I'm assuming, whatever dropped this thing off.
Yes, I had alerted Duncan while I was on watch. There was something large out in the woods hunting. There's a certain pace that beasts will take when they are pursuing something else or trying to find food. And then there's some kind of camp up ahead on the road. A larger encampment. I saw their fires. There were a few. And then screams. I don't know if anyone has survived that.
Wait,
But it stayed decently far from us, so I didn't bother to wake the rest of you.
people needed help, and we just laid here. Duncan, what do you think? Do we go back? Do we keep going?
I think we need to know what kind of beast this was. What this
Well, I could take
creature
a look
is.
at the tracks.
Yeah, so let's come take a look at tracks. And I'll take Farney with me, kind of as quickly as I
They'll-
can, like ushering him towards where I saw the
Yeah.
tracks, describing
They'll-
exactly in
They'll
detail
follow you.
as like an old man would, just kind of eccentric about the details about it.
Random
Postulating
things.
my own,
pop
yeah,
in
random
your
things. Like, oh,
mind.
it reminds me of this. It looks exactly like a track I saw 40 years ago when my great grandmother. It was yeah.
They'll take a look, specifically looking to compare to what they had seen back at the downed horse when they had gone into the woods then. So y'all will have a few minutes to talk without them as well.
Well, we need to get to this encampment first. I mean, if that's the closest people could be hurt, they could need us.
Yes, I mean, if it's on the way, I'm just... What could this thing be? Maybe it didn't know where we were at exactly, but it knows who at least one of us is.
I'm not sold on the idea that this is something we don't know. I mean, maybe in its current form, but we've seen things turned before. We've seen them become monstrous things. I mean, this could have been someone who was in the temple. I mean, they were in the temple at some point. How else would they have gotten the toy? All those people, like... But something else could have happened, right? I mean, it could have wound up outside somehow.
Something hit him. Brother's like holding the dragon. There's blood on it. There were scraps of Kevin's clothing. Something sheared off its wing
Can we
and then brought it here and delivered it.
Can we hold it?
And Brun will like have pulled a piece of cloth and like kind of holding it in this cloth. We'll hand it to Thane.
Oh,
Thane, this is the This is very obviously the handiwork of the
Thane
elf.
remembers.
Yeah.
Man, okay. So there was a mention that the wing was missing, and there was some other damage done to it. Do all the pieces look like they are here, just like dangling, or as a part of it, or is it like missing pieces that it won't be able to replace potentially?
Other than the wing is fully gone. The tail tip is missing. That's where some of those sparks are kind of popping out once in a while. One of the legs is pretty jacked up where it's like dangling and kind of crushed. Plates along the side of its body are dented in, but if you took it apart and were careful enough, you could probably reuse those by reforming them.
All that beauty, and Thane's like super careful with this thing. Does Thane believe that given enough time, and if they are careful enough, do they think they will be able to repair this, or will it require like being taken to a craftsman somewhere?
This was a specialty thing from Selma.
Right.
And you know that this quality of work, first of all,
It's
it's not going to
unparalleled.
be cheap.
Yeah.
Second of all, finding somebody else, like Selma had mentioned that she and, oh no, what was her hubby's name?
Benny.
Oh no,
Benny, yeah.
Benny, yes, she and Benny, like they cannot make these things without each other, right? Like they are a very specialized team to make this. The cost alone is astronomical, but finding somebody else with the skills to remake this so it is just as it had been, probably not going to happen unless you can find Selma and Benny again.
Does Thane think that they're not even to get it as good as it was, but to make any repairs to it, to make it maybe not even necessarily whole, but close to whole again?
You have worked with wood, as has Duncan. Metalwork is totally different. You wouldn't even know where to begin with something like this. I mean, you could try to ham fist some wooden parts on there, maybe, but you have no idea if that would help it, hurt it. Like, every time it sparks to life again, even though it is a constructed creature, it feels like pain.
We're sorry this happened to you, but we're going to get you fixed, and you're going to be beautiful again. And Thane's is really carefully going to hand it back to Brun.
Kind of cradle it in close. I like where your head's at. This feels like a message.
Around
Why?
this time, Farney will return. Finish what you're saying?
But why wouldn't they bring Kevin if they had him?
Benny was going through the transformation. Maybe for whatever reason he wanted this to always be with you.
Not to speak ill of the recently transfiguring, but Benny didn't know me from shit in a shoe.
The tracks I found that you'd pointed out, Duncan, I have never seen anything like that. They are not the same as what I had found with back at the horse and the cows. They're almost humanoid, but not quite. Something with a tail, I there were broken branches that put it. Looks to you, Brun. How tall are you again? Like 6 something?
Like 6'4", 6'6".
Just a bit taller than you. Or something caught on some branches and snapped them at about that height. And Farney's not super short either. They're like 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah.
So a little bit taller than both of you. It is fairly lightweight. The size of the tracks doesn't match how deep they are. They should be deeper for something with limbs or hands and feet, paws. I'm not sure what to call it. They should be deeper. And the gate doesn't make sense at all either. Like, this is
Very
something
sporadic.
foreign to me.
No, we have an idea of what it could be. We should check out that encampment.
Yeah, we need answers. And I'm gonna
We
just pull my sword out.
We do need to continue on the road. The road will take us at least close to the encampment. As far as detours go, and you see them start kind of tabulating how much time could be spent on a detour. About this time, I think we should pick our travel roles and make those for the day.
Guard.
Okay.
I think Duncan would also take guard.
Guard for you. Guard for you. Nevos?
Scout? I'm trying to remember right. They were. Yeah, scout.
Scout, navigator.
Okay. Farney's on nav. Brun?
Because how many days out are we?
So this is day 3. You've got one more day beyond, at least. Depends on how long your detour takes. You are halfway to Kahlo, basically.
Okay. Yeah, I think. Oh boy,
Come on.
Scout. I'm also I have a level of exhaustion.
You sure do.
Brun knows he's not gonna be batting 1,000.
One way
So
or the other.
those of you who have completed a long rest, you have all of your hit dice restored.
Okay.
Those of you who have not, if you have any hit dice remaining, you can roll those to heal up for the evening. But you will have, I believe, disadvantage on skill checks. Ability checks. There we go. So please fix up your hit points there. Without giving me a number, how's everybody looking this morning?
I'm
You know
good.
in a minute.
Duncan's ready for whatever comes.
Duncan's ready. Thane, how
He's
you
ready.
looking?
I will let you know in a second. I almost rolled my.
I see.
Dice.
Brun?
Brun is still feeling pretty good from yesterday.
Oh yeah, both paladins, you have your healing points back as well.
Yeah, Brun's pretty good but tired.
Nevos, how you looking today?
Tired but clean skin. Don't think I was hit at
Okay.
all last fight.
Yeah,
Farney
Thane is okay.
ready to go.
If Thane used their lay on hands the night before, then which they would have, then they're back up to full health. They were really low
Okay.
after Duncan hit them. Really
All
low.
right, so scouts, you are doing either investigation or perception. Guards, you are doing strength checks. And Farney's got a survival.
So 16 for strength.
16 for Thane.
Dirty 20 for Brun.
Okay.
17 for Duncan, strength check.
Okay.
I'm gonna go into cyclotrance, so that'll just wipe it out. That's 18.
A what?
Shoot.
18.
18. Okay.
Apologies. I forgot I'm at disadvantage, but I rolled an 11. Damn it.
Bummer. A lot lower than 20.
Okay. All right. So you break camp. Farney is very twitchy and eager to get on the road. They have been very good at their navigation job this entire time. It seems like your pace is much slower than normal. As you set out, you've been on the road for maybe an hour or two. There's a large group ahead of you. Navos, you spot it first. Thane and Duncan, you catch it right about the same time, just a little bit after, perhaps. Brun, it takes you a minute to catch on as well. There's a large group, it sounds like, up ahead of people coming down the path towards you. They look like just standard people. In general, just folks who are very common in this area, a lot of humanoids. You don't see anyone who stands out quite as much as Navos does. There's elves, there's humans, there's halflings. You see maybe like one or two tieflings. And there's actually a Goliath man as well, who's kind of wandering through the middle. And they are heading your way. You do have some time to prepare however you would like to engage with these people. If you would like to hide off the side of the road, if you would like to prepare for battle, whatever you want to do here. You've got, I'll say, 2 minutes real time to plan.
How do they look? Do they look mean?
What's their demeanor?
General demeanor, these people are nervous. They probably don't travel very much. And you see people have meager belongings, kind of knapsack type deal, packs, that kind of thing. You see there's one cart kind of in the back that a couple of people are working together to pull. They don't have any draft animals or anything that you can tell. A couple of them are sporting wounds, injuries. You see they've been patched up. The big man's, the Goliath, seems in pretty good spirits compared to most everybody else. He's pretty obvious to see. That's why I single him out.
And they're not coming from the same direction that we are coming from. They are coming the opposite way toward us.
They're coming the opposite direction, yeah.
Okay. No. Okay. Duncan?
Yeah, Duncan, he has no reason to think him a threat as of yet. So, still kind of like in that determined we need to be going to this encampment or to see where this creature has gone. It's just gonna, if he has his way, just gonna walk right past them.
Should we stow our valuables and we can let them, I mean, we can still interact with them, but do we want to do that with our cargo so easily seen?
I mean, are we supposed to be keeping it so much of a secret? It's just
No, it's supposed to be
boxes.
protecting it, right? Right now,
We are
I mean, one
protecting
looks like a coin safe. So, but I believe that was
We
in
don't know
Brun's
them.
pack.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not like sticking
No,
out.
Yeah,
it is.
it's
It's buried at the bottom of Brun's bag.
Okay.
Farney, do you recognize any of these folks?
No, sorry. It seems like they they've been distracted most of the morning so far. This is not their typical on-point demeanor. Either what they saw has really gotten under their skin, or they didn't sleep well. You're not quite sure.
Farney,
Yes,
are
Thane.
you're feeling okay? You're feeling like yourself?
I assure you I'm perfectly fine.
I would like to insight check that, please.
Yeah, I would like to assist.
I do not believe
Explain
this.
to me how you are inciting. What are you looking for here? Be specific.
Looking for signs of the four of us collectively has spent a decent amount of time around this weird shit in the last 48 hours to 72. Carnivorous cows, for one. There's some stuff that we are taking pretty well in stride. And Farney going, this is a creature I don't understand. Is like, I don't think that's something Farney would normally say, because Farney hangs out in these woods a lot. So it's kind of looking for that, seeing how far before they crack. Whether you're asking some very intense questions, or you're looking to one of your guys going, yo, are you good, or do we need to cancel this job?
And Thane is looking for signs of what they had gone through the day prior. They were on the inside of it, so it was hard to pick up, but maybe there's any signs of dissociation, or, that they are not
Insight from both of these. Anyone else joining in on this insight?
Oh, the brutality of this disadvantage is going to ruin my Christmas.
That's a 14, and Thane wants to also to try to ascertain how Farney is feeling. Do they seem to be nervous? Do they see what's going on there?
What'd you get?
6 for Brun.
All right. Farney, while distracted, you're not getting any. They genuinely don't know what those tracks were from, and that is bothering them. They are confused, concerned, disturbed a little bit, and they don't like not knowing. Because you're right, they do spend a lot of time out in the world. They know a lot of things like this, and this is new. This is strange and weird and upsetting, and they are dwelling on it. They're not paying full attention to their navigation duties. You've seen, as you've been traveling this morning, that they're processing. They're digging through every bit of knowledge for anything related to what they've found earlier today. Taking in every bit of information from Duncan, kind of running through it, coming up blank. And that is upsetting. I'm sorry, I don't know every person on these roads.
That's okay.
I tend not to travel with people. I try to avoid them because they slow me down. You said you wanted to get to the encampment that I saw. That way.
Slowing us down.
I like to think that Duncan does that from like the rear of the group, as he is just Duncan is at a very steady pace, like very tortoise and hare approach, and he's just like trundling along.
All right. So your 2 minutes, just about up. How are you approaching this group? Because they are getting very close at this point. Like, you can start hearing individual conversations, even though they're talking fairly low and close to each other.
Duncan's going to keep unless somebody else has something else to do, he's gonna give him a howdy do and keep going because he's got bigger fish to fry.
He's that old man jogging down the trail that
Mhm.
gives a little tiny wave.
Thane,
Thanks for not hitting us with your cart.
Thane is going to give them this very large smile, like a friendly wave, like kind of almost like flirty, you know. You guys okay?
Who are you directing that to? Just anyone in the group?
Just, yeah, to the group, yeah. Whoever seems the nicest that they can make eye
Okay.
contact with.
I'm gonna need some kind of roll for that. Maybe just straight charisma, I think. 'Cause that's
Great,
funny to
yeah.
me.
Because Thane is
Hey,
great.
Navos, what are you
charisma.
up
Let's
to?
see how that goes.
howdy.
Yeah, this entire time, Navos is spotted the group first and is just practicing, like whispering under his breath, like how to interact. Wants to come off as like
Say
kind,
hello,
but wants
say
to keep
hello,
moving.
say hello.
Say hello. I will approach and as like Thane is saying, "How you doing? Hello there," and it's just, oh, fuck, oh my god.
Oh, this boy. Someone give him some acting lessons. Teach him how to
Thane-
interact, please.
Thane rolled an 11, but can I get advantage for being a pretty girl?
I think I would. I was gonna give you disadvantage for Navos. So we'll just keep the straight roll.
Okay.
In this, our last day of Pride?
From me, of all people, I
Okay,
know.
Right?
Stranger things
Um,
have happened.
That is only an 11 then.
Uh-oh. Oh, no. Hold on.
Roll initiative.
Just a gut punch.
Uh-oh.
How many people?
I don't like the way that one talks.
We have you surrounded. I'm only surrounded by fear and dead civilians.
Sorry, my external hard drive just stopped responding for a second, and the recording stopped for a second, and I panicked just a little.
That's fine.
Okay, it looks like we're good again.
Favorite Darth
Um,
Vader quote.
S-
It's such a good,
So-
it's such a banger.
yeah, I didn't even hear any of it, is the best part.
Because the panic turns off your brain. I understand completely.
Yep. Anywho, sorry, yes. So they see you, they do acknowledge that you've spoken to them. The ones that were about to respond hear Navos, see Navos, and are like, and you get a couple of people who are like, be careful going on, like, the roads aren't safe, etc., etc. We're fine. We're doing all right. We lost a couple people.
Oh.
But other than that, it's very scattered responses. There's about, say, 30 or 40 people in this group.
Where are you all heading?
Where
At
are
this
you all
point,
headed from?
the Goliath is actually right about to you and has made his way over. We are headed to an encampment, actually. I'm leading these fine folks. They were attacked, and so I'm bringing them with to hopefully safety. And extends a hand. Priest Brorall. Brorall. Pretty big Goliath man. And Duncan, you notice right away with your passive perception,
Mhm.
his feet are weird. You've never seen a Goliath with hooves.
Feet are weird. Duncan is definitely not into feet. The feet are weird.
You know, I feel like
Life is
that
weird.
you
For...
Yeah, if
Don't
you're
go-
gonna be denying it, give me
Yeah,
a second
like-
here. There's the art.
Cool.
Yeah, the the fur that you see just above the hooves has kind of a shifting quality to it, purples and blues and twinkles almost.
He's got a youth pastor kind of vibe.
Oh, he's the cool teacher. He's sitting on the desk
Yeah.
like he's gonna.
Yeah. Hey, kids.
He's got a don't do drugs. Holding hands, that's icky.
I think he's okay with
He's
holding
got-
hands.
As long as you leave space for Jesus.
Leave
He's got a very
room.
large pack on his back. And
Oh.
as he kind of shifts towards you, you can tell that he's carrying a lot of supplies for everybody. Stuff that didn't fit on the cart. And his pack is adorned with just so many holy figures, like little totems, like handmade totem things. If you'd like to make a religion check, any of you, to see what he's got on there,
I would.
you're welcome to.
I have a +2, which means I'm only gonna get a 7. Actually, a 12.
Dane's not even gonna bother.
Navis, were you gonna roll?
Yeah, we can roll. I've been to a few places, see if I recognize anything. And what is my plus? Oh, +4. It's a 12.
Okay. Yeah. There's a lot. Some larger, some smaller, but just a whole mix of them. You see a lot that are very familiar to you. The Cosmic Trilogy. There's some Vidarian ones. Just small fists grasping wings type thing. You see a little bit of everything on here, and the styles of them are wide-ranging. Some are nicely crafted, some are more homemade vibes, some are well-worn, some are brand new looking. They look very polished, hardly ever used or touched. And
Any belonging to the Celestial Collective? Does Thane spot any fountains?
you too, actually.
Oh,
There's only one.
wow, well. That's okay. The one true God.
And then
Leave space for the collective.
They're all the same God. Don't go to Alrith if your trail takes you that way.
Alrith.
Steer clear.
I'm not sure where that one is, but I'm sure we'll be fine.
You can't miss it. There's a big plume of smoke coming out of it.
Well, is that normal for your Alrith?
Nope.
Fair enough. Well, in that direction, you shouldn't go into the woods too much. We made that mistake. Were attacked last night. A very weird pig boar thing. Points to a couple of the people ahead of him. They got cut, and the wounds are weird. They're strange. They're not healing properly. They felt all sorts of odd themselves ever since. We put it down, but who knows if there are any others.
There are beasts the direction that we came to, very odd ones. Thane's going to look past the Goliath. Do they notice any of the strings?
Give me
Fibers.
a perception roll.
Fibers? And they're going to purposely look back at the others and look out that way because we should all be on the same page with that. Sorry, one device
We should get you some, like, actual dice. But they've
Yeah.
got to be giant ones, so they're not a baby hazard.
I do have a giant dice literally sitting next to me, but I don't know what my modifier is. For this, sorry.
Just get him
Oh, that
a
is
giant laminated
17.
character sheet.
Yeah.
-1. 17.
Looking across all the people, there are several that show signs of infection.
Mhm.
It's not quite the intensity of, say, the druids, where they were sprouting leaves and twigs and things, or like the tieflings you had seen who were expanding and shifting and whatnot, or Benny. Most of these people just look ill, but they do have those fibers on them. Notably, Broral seems unaffected. Any of the fibers that drift toward him don't seem to interact with him. They just keep moving by.
Thane's going to point that out to the others.
Go ahead, point it out. If you're trying to be stealthy about it, give me a stealth roll.
Sleight of hand.
Yeah, let's try to be stealthy. Oh yeah. Natural 20 plus 3, 23.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you get the message across.
Burrow rolls a 45.
Surprise! No, he rolled a 17 plus some things. You get the message across. The rest of you are now made aware, and it is very obvious now that you're vaguely looking.
Hearing this, can I do an Arcana check? Not just on Boral himself, but like also on the totems, see if anything's giving off.
Sure.
Okay. 15.
You peer at all of these totems, and the variety is incredible. You catch sight of a piece of bone that is carved in swirls and pierced through with a hoop of metal. It's kind of familiar looking, vaguely. Similar to what the Rat Man had.
Lodged in his trachea.
I apologize for what had happened. Quick question. I admire everything you've made here. Could I ask where you've got that one from? Pointing to the bone.
Well, I haven't made any of these. I've collected them. Which one are you referring to?
The bone. It has the metal hoop in it.
Ah, that is a strange one indeed. Unfortunately, that is not a story I'm willing to tell right now. If you should happen by our encampment, perhaps I could tell you that story over some ale, but it is not a pleasant one for travels. And by this point, most of the folks have made their way past. The cart is coming up pretty quickly. You'll have to scoot off to the side. He himself is a very large man with a very large pack, so... But yes, best of luck in your travels. We'll avoid this Alrith, and hopefully you'll avoid the boar. And he kind of shudders, and clearly it was not a great time. And as he is getting ready to leave, Shirol Shalarum, and a couple of people around him, Shalara Ten, gives a little wave. Keep moving.
As the group moves on, I pointed out immediately that that bone, it's blocking the fiber somehow.
There's a baby in these
Insane.
woods.
You left a
Sorry.
baby. Hey guys,
I'm trying to. I'm
you
trying
left
to
one of
mute
these
myself.
babies.
Roll. You left this behind. It fell off the cart.
Excuse me, you left this.
Chase him down.
Did
In
we
the parking lot.
He starts running faster.
the words that he spoke at the end when we farted? Did we recognize what those words are?
Not a clue. I'm not even going to let you roll for that. You have no clue.
Yeah, Thane probably wouldn't know anyway.
Chiral, Shalarum, Shalar Atem. Did I go studying some different languages for funsies? Maybe.
Good. The GM trap has snared you shut.
Yeah, it's Babylonian for you.
No, just looking at the methods of linguistics. But that's
Common
beside the point.
tropes.
It's a fucking trap.
So they get you.
So, unless you all have any other questions or anything interaction-wise that you want to do for right now, I'm gonna call a bio break, because I've had to pee for about an hour.
You can call. You're in charge. You can call a bio whenever.
No, I don't want to interrupt you guys. Do you guys have anything? Navos is pointing out the totem.
Yeah, I just
Continue.
want to say to Farney, I don't want to hold us back too long, but we need to sit down at least for a second to figure out more about that.
Sure. Whatever you need. And they're gonna just kind of pace off to the side of the road. Just kind of walking back and forth a little bit, twitchy, fidgety.
So we're going to have a chat with our shimmery hoofed friend.
I mean, I will leave it up to the group. I hate having to turn around.
We should, at the very least, just to get eyes on this encampment of theirs. Sorry, I keep forgetting that I'm not
But
deep
every detour we take away, this beast gets further and further away. It is our only answer to why would it bring the dragon back? It clearly was in Ulrith at some point, and it tracked us this far out.
And it could have wound up at that encampment. At the very least, we can learn more about that totem that the Goliath held. I mean, we're here. It just makes sense. More knowledge, I guess, is always better than less, right?
Normally, I would agree with you, but we are on a time crunch. As much as I don't think the pace that Farney sets is a little too fast for me, but I think we still have to go to Callow.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I think that, that's definitely the destination. But if we take one extra day just to understand maybe a little bit more of what we're up against, I mean, he has a story. He's come in contact with the owner of that totem. We know nothing about the owners of that totem right now.
Kahlo
Besides-
has some of the largest and best available libraries. We know more than we did.
And for all we know, he's one of them. We could just be walking straight into a trap.
We saw all those people. Is that really the conclusion you reached?
I don't know. They're clearly infected.
I mean, there were 30 of them and 4 or 5
Only-
of us. I mean, if they really wanted to take us out, they had the opportunity to. And they fought whatever that was last night. I mean, they're not on the same side. I get that, the libraries there at Callow have information that can help us, but I mean, we have anecdotal stuff. We have anecdotal information right in front of us. Like, why not learn when we have the chance to? Plus, people might need help. Like, that's.
But people need help now. These samples that we have to get to Callow could provide some sort of cure or remedy. And every day that we sit idly by trying to investigate it, that's could be another day that there could have been a cure one day sooner.
I think maybe we can put it to a vote, but I mean,
No, I will stand by a vote as well, but I think it's important to realize what we're doing out here. That sometimes for the greater good, we have to do things that, those people didn't really look in danger. They seemed capable enough. What we're doing is helping people, helping potentially a larger group of people. I would think you of all people would agree.
No, we do. It's just we are basing our decision off of a hypothetical that when we get to Callow, there will be information there about this cult. We don't know that. We can hope that that's the case, but right now, I mean, we were just faced with someone who does know something about this cult. So yeah, I mean, there's the realistic choice. There's a choice that we know leads in one direction, and then there's the choice that is based on a hypothetical that we're going to learn more when we arrive where we're going.
I mean, there's also a hypothetical of that information is even good. We don't know if that was a true story that he had about fighting this war creature. We don't know even if he does have the information, if it's even usable. Oh, I encountered somebody with this totem. We got into a scuffle, and I took it from their dying corpse.
Or bought it in a shop from somebody bought it at an estate sale, or it was stolen and found in a den.
And for all we know, it could have been a souvenir from some traveling merchant or something who just goes around making bone totems.
Thing.
I mean, I have more trust, I think, in. I don't know. We had a good vibe off of that. Yeah.
All right. Well, I say we bring it to a vote.
Unless
I was saying this whole time I'm sketching it out in my journal just to remember.
Unless we're willing to take that trinket off of his pack.
Give me a sleight of hand for that, Derek.
Yeah.
We gain nothing new by staying. We have a job to do. We all saw the fibers.
Yeah.
If anything, if Duncan is right and there is a solution, then we can follow the thread. We can follow the path where they went. If they're spreading fibers as they go. But this is... You all heard what the Rat Man said. The time of man is over. This is a much... I concur with Duncan. We need to keep moving.
That's a 17.
You get a good amount of detail. Farney's gonna kind of pace back towards you all. I heard you're doing a vote. Whatever your decision is, if I get a vote or not, I would like to continue on forward.
Of course you get a vote.
This job is getting more and more difficult as time goes on.
Then I think that makes the decision for us, unfortunately.
And we're okay with that. We were on the fence anyway. Duncan makes a great point. I mean, we need to do what's for the better good, for the greater good, and that means moving to Kala.
Duncan will stick his hand out for a handshake.
Yeah, Thane will take it.
Mhm.
And then Thane will be quiet for a little bit and stop listening to it. All right.
I'll
Right,
kind of
then that's
shuffle my
settled.
backpack on and
We'll
start
we'll
heading.
continue forward then. Right, this way, everyone, and they will start plowing ahead, setting that pace again. Not as fast as it has been, but forward
If-
nonetheless.
Duncan, if you start like lagging behind, Brun will sort of drop back and ask if there's anything that
I
he
think
can
at
take
this
for your pack.
point, Duncan would be at the head.
Okay.
I know he's guarding on our trip here, but he is eager for answers. This if something happened to Kevin and there's a possibly an answer at the behest of this beast, he needs to know what it is. To him, Kevin's just another one of his little soldiers.
I think with that change, Brun like tries to catch up and then catches himself and like falls back a little bit, and gives a little more space. Seeing the grumpy man determination that I feel like is oozing out of every pore.
It's a mix. It feels grumpy from the exterior, but you look a little past that. It's genuine concern.
Yeah.
Like people like just need to get out of my way right now because I need answers for this. Like I might seem brash and abrasive because I'm upset and concerned.
Yep. And yeah, Brun is like going up to offer to help, and then kind of catches that vibe check, and then takes a couple steps back to give a little more breathing room. I don't even know if Duncan would notice, but I feel like everyone else in the room would catch on to that as well.
I mean, that's the highest passive perception, I believe.
Yeah, probably. Okay, you probably do.
Yeah, he does.
I just didn't know how deep in your brain you were. But also, let's let Alexis pee.
Yes. Yes. Break time. Sorry.
All right, so we'll take a pause there. We'll return on the road. You all wanted to head toward the encampment for now?
Yeah.
That's your current goal?
Mm-hmm. Ahead of
Okay.
us.
Let's take a 15. Come back at 9:15.
Perfect.
Thank you. Ooh, a whole 18 minutes.
Oh. She spoils
I can't do math. It's June. We'll be back in a bit.
Yo, I am back.
Hello, welcome back.
Are you working on all your stuff, your campaign stuff for your 3 different groups?
It's the same group. It's just split. They have to do
Yeah.
2 different missions because they're running out of time.
Man, up against the clock.
Seriously, they're up against the clock because they took too much time lollygagging.
Oh man, good thing we never do that.
We don't. I don't. I'm a lollygagger. I got bills to pay.
Yeah, you got kids to save.
I got kids to say, bills to pay. Maidens need rescuing. And I still got to be into bed by 9. So.
Man, speaking of in bed by 9, Kylie just went down for the night, so it is just me on baby duty.
Adult swim time.
Yeah, so between 9 and 10 is like the who knows what's gonna happen while we're playing.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Look at the fate today.
Yeah. So luckily I have bottles now. Now that Kylie's in bed, I can use them.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully that'll keep him from crying as much. We'll see. But yeah, I got 1 week off work, which was nice. It wasn't nearly long enough.
Is all your paternity leave you get?
Yeah, like it was all time that I had accrued since I'm seasonal, so I don't get paternity at all. But I built up a bunch of comp time from like just working extra up until this point. So I think I had 65 hours, and then I burnt 40 for the week I was off. So I have a little bit of that and annual time, and then I have a ton of sick time that I can fall back on. But
So a fun thing with that and babies, apparently you cannot use sick leave for taking care of the child. You can only use it if you're going to appointments, at appointments, or returning from appointments.
yeah, that's lame.
Yep.
What's nice though,
Roll
is
down.
they can't tell you why. Like they can't ask why you're taking a sick day. So it could just be a mental health day as far as they're concerned, you know? Like, it doesn't matter. Hey, I'm taking a sick day. Which,
yeah, but after 3 days, you have to have a doctor's note.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not planning on doing any more stretches.
We had a ranger whose wife just produced the second child fairly recently. So I've learned all about this nonsense.
Yeah. Produced their second child. That's so funny.
She's like a 3D printer.
Yeah.
Boy,
that is true.
That print job time really, it's like the 90s internet all over again. This print job will take
you don't want to see what happens when you cut corners, right? It just doesn't go well.
You don't rush it. Don't rush
that print job.
Do you hear that, Evan? You're the equivalent of dialect. Oh no.
Oh no.
You've upset him, Curtis.
Oh no.
Should have called you AOL.
More like
You've
Internet
got baby.
Explorer.
You've got babies.
So could somebody please, for me, give me a number between 1 and 27, including either
3.
of those values. 3?
3.
Hey.
Oh, someone else want to do a
Baby,
different
start
number?
lower.
It's fine, guys. We can do a different number.
Evan, was
No, I already grabbed
was that the game changer? I'm begging you. Please start lower.
I love that episode. 3. We'll go with it. 3.
Yeah, we'll go with 3.
Good, because I already was
That
doing
means
the thing.
3 of them are going to be on the map, and the rest of them are going to be hidden in places, and we're never getting out of these woods.
No, there's 3
I wouldn't
enemies
do
total.
that to you. I wouldn't do that.
I don't believe you.
3 hit
Aw,
points.
you're not wrong.
Also,
Okay.
since we have a minute left,
Yeah.
Just a heads up, next week will be 50-50. Because ideally, I would assume that's a yawn and not a shock of surprise.
That was a shock of surprise.
Getting keys tomorrow.
Oh my gosh.
And finally moving to a apartment with air conditioning.
Duncan
Hey.
second that because Duncan's player is on vacation next week as well.
What?
What?
Okay.
Dude, Curtis, I'm sorry. I should have been asking at the beginning before
There
the
you go.
game started. I told you that I was going to keep up on asking about the apartment stuff. Congratulations.
Yeah, got it. Like, we still don't have a lease yet, but like because there's just been like back and forth on the paperwork and shit. But yeah, getting keys, handing him a check tomorrow, and then moving Alex in, and then I will be piecemealing my life over there over the next 3 weeks.
Incredible.
Let's do the wave, everybody.
I'm just excited for sleeping in air conditioning because sleeping in an 80-degree house is homicide inducing.
Yeah, if you've noticed any uptick in Wilkes-Barre area murders, you'll know why.
It's me.
It's been hot here.
Oh,
Anyway.
it's so hot.
Hot dang. It's raining right now, though, so I'm doing good.
I
Alright,
hate
Brendan.
you. I'm envious of this.
Tee hee 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 hee. Suck my left nut. Anyway, so
With a grace.
we return to the road. Farney
Hello, road.
plowing ahead with Duncan by their side. It takes a couple more hours. About as long as you had already been on the road. Take that time and double it, right? So you're about midway through the day, I'll say. And you're looking for this camp. Farney is pretty sure. They're pretty convinced that the fires they had seen should have been somewhere in this area. Nevos, it takes you looking to finally pinpoint where the area is. It's out away from the road in kind of this broad, grassy-ish type area. A lot of downed trees and whatnot. Plants are growing wild. And eventually you do find it. As you wander around, Duncan, with you especially, between you and Nevos, there are signs of a large group of people here. Marks from a cart as well, and you are pretty well convinced that this was the encampment that those people you passed on the road were at. There are the remains of a few different fires, you assume for cooking and keeping watch. You see where people had been bedded down, where the grasses are kind of pushed to the side in nests almost. Eventually, with enough looking, you find signs of struggle where there's blood splattered in the grasses and on the ground. You find graves back under the trees. So it seems that a few people were lost.
Mm-hmm.
More looking, and you finally find the boar that was spoken of. It has changed. You see some black fibers drifting off of it. The tusks are elongated, and there are more of them than a boar typically has. It is scarred. It is beaten and cut. This thing has been fighting a lot. It carries with it a foul stench of an unwashed place just full of death. Right? This thing is crusty, coated in indiscriminate meat. That's going to be a thing for every episode forward.
I can't
You
wait for
can
discriminate
see-
meat.
Oh, it's gonna be
Yeah.
so gross.
Can I discriminate that meat?
Yeah. Ew, racist
You've already been
meat?
doing that. It seems to have taken a lot of effort to take this thing down. There are several weapon wounds from just swords, it looks like. There are also several spots across its hide where the skin has bubbled into almost tumors or pustules. You're not quite sure what's up with that. Those seem a lot fresher, where they've kind of eaten through the muscle and whatnot. They don't look comfortable, whatever caused those. There's also some burning across the fur, brindled fur. When you roll it over to continue looking at it, you see from the neck and shoulder a second head starting to form. A mouth partially gaping from the side, part of a nose, and one sunken in eye. An ear canal opening up and starting to push forth as well. It is larger than a boar you would typically find in this area, according to Farney. This seems very in line with what I had seen with the horse rider. The signs of scuffle. It's very similar to what we're seeing here.
Does this look like the thing that was near our camp? Did the tracks match
Yes.
this thing?
So Duncan, kind of looking over this this boar, does it kind of match the vague description of what I saw, or was that creature even larger?
That creature was different.
Mm-hmm.
The tracks do not match up with the sharpened hooves this thing has.
And Duncan will just kind of, no, this isn't it. There's something, kind of like scanning the tree line. There's something larger out there.
Is this what you were hoping to learn?
I was
This thing
hoping to
is uncomfortable.
find the creature.
Well, I suppose this is it.
I don't think so.
Not your delivery creature, but probably what was hunting.
Looking around, do the tracks match? I know Farney said this looks like what might have dealt with the horse and rider. Does that make sense? Does that track from like the injuries we saw on the horse and like the damage that was done? Because that
Give me maybe nature or survival,
okay.
unless you want to argue something else.
Yeah,
Strength? Like I know how
like-
strong it is to rip something apart.
well, like pulling, knocking somebody off a horse. That is like getting knocked off a horse like that doesn't seem like a bore. And there's this, I don't know if this is Curtis's intuition or Brun's intuition. Like knocking somebody off a horse is not something a boar is going to give a shit about. that's a very cat-like thing to do. And
I think this is Curtis thinking too hard.
Okay, never mind. Then I will shut the fuck up. Brun is going to like look at the Actually, is there a long pointy stick?
There can be.
Just Brun wants to grab like a pretty sizable stick and like lance one of the pustules and see what comes out.
Gross.
Very, very scientific.
You can sharpen a stick well enough. The pustules are made of the same flesh, right?
Okay.
So it takes some effort to punch through there. Like this thing has thick hide, stretched a little thinner with pustule, but still it takes some effort to punch through. You can see why this thing claimed a few lives, right? As you push the stick through, it starts to ooze a mixture of blood and pus and fibers.
Once like it starts to go through and we see the fibers, Brun will just shout, "Somebody get a jar." Piss can, anything.
Is this another thing that I shouldn't be touching? I'm getting the feeling it is one of those.
If you would like to touch it, I strongly recommend against it.
Yeah, don't.
I will take that recommendation. Very gladly. Duncan, do you have anything in your pack that would have like jars or vials?
Not that I can think of. No.
Anyone have anything like that? Because otherwise, you're just scooping that nasty with your hands. Because
I don't know if there would be any jars left over or like clay pots.
The boxes you have are sealed.
I can't remember.
I have a little bag of sand.
Could be a
Can I
little
soak
bag
it up
of
with a little bag of
fibers.
sand?
If you would like just the bag.
I wasn't sure if. Oh god, what do I have?
That just sounds like it's gonna get gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna need like a paper towel around that.
I was thinking
Hold
somebody
a
had
newspaper. Yeah, I don't believe any of you have
Nope. So I
like,
just
herbalists or alchemists or anything like that. Kits.
I mean, I have
Here.
like the potion bottles from whatever we had made with that fella.
Those don't use potion bottles.
Oh, they're just like balms.
It's a salve, yeah.
Okay, never mind. You have nothing.
Yeah, nothing. Oh,
So yeah, that's just oozing now.
that's just oozing. Sorry, got.
Oh, you gotta burn it.
Okay. Is there time to make a fire that big?
We are already delayed for the day. How important is it to you to burn this?
We don't want to spread any infection if we can. We don't know anything about those.
I don't like asking this question. Points back toward the graves. Do you suspect they are also in need of burning?
Well, they're also already buried.
I don't know the slightest thing about what you are doing here. Frankly, I don't want to know. I am very much ready to drop you off in Kahlo and never see you again. With all respect.
No
There is
offense.
a
with
very
all-
strong reason I work alone.
And I would imagine, with all respect, there was a reason you were asked to guide us to Callow.
Because I'm good at what I do.
Exactly.
And I make
So
sure
you
the job
must-
gets done.
Exactly. And that's why this job must get done.
I'm getting a lot of practice gathering firewood, and they're gonna turn and start grabbing dry material.
I have a feeling we all might
We
be
like-
getting good at that.
Should we like do something for them, like a gift, like a thank you card
I think
at the end of
us.
this?
I think us not being in their presence is gift enough, Thane.
Yeah, I think a swift end to this quick journey of ours is payment enough.
We
A
cannot
firm
imagine-
handshake and
See you later, never.
See you
I
never.
can't imagine that urge to just want to be alone. Like that sounds terrible.
Well,
Like not be around people, just all the time.
sometimes it's better that way.
There is a sort of.
There's a
Are we-
about it.
Say again, Derek.
We, no,
There's a.
go Derek.
sort of- Okay, Andrew.
Let's go, get it out.
There's a sort of comfort about it. Andrew's turn.
Pass the talking stick.
I actually don't have anything. I just wanted to interrupt you.
I'd like to help collect some wood as well, but I'd like to search around the encampment to see if there are any missing or totems that may have fallen off of the bag.
I'm not even gonna make you roll for that. This area is not conducive for finding something like that without a thorough search.
Okay.
So a pyre is built up. You all are going to be traveling late into the night to make sure you're staying on track. So, is there anything else you guys want to do at the moment, or shall we fast forward through travel here to the evening?
Real quick, while Brun is looking for firewood, I want to look for signs, any trail markers or thieves' cant markings for any Boneberry clan folks running around here that might have like if this is a larger encampment, maybe a suggestion or another location where to meet them or a name of somebody.
As far as encampment, this is more that group of people you saw setting up for the night.
Oh, they just
It's
set
not
up.
like it's not like a settlement type deal.
Okay. Copy.
At this point, you are about a day and change from Kahlo.
Yeah.
So that's also probably a little bit far
Okay.
for anyone in Kahlo to be leaving anything.
Yeah. I figure anybody who's going to be, if they're going to be a day and a half out, that gives them a day's warning if someone's going to come bust them.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, just a quick cursory look around for any markings on trees or on rocks or anything.
Go ahead and give me a perception or investigation.
Yeah, we'll keep stuff moving along. Brun's an EP boy. Perception is a 12 for Brun.
You just find more of the same. There's actually a few extra graves that you had missed the first go round. Looks like they had lost approximately 8 people from what you can find. So this thing took down theoretically 8 people and wounded several more before they finally managed to fell it. Fire built boar on top, going up in smoke. It smells pretty good for a bit. Like once you get past like all the iron or the irony smell of the blood and whatnot, and the burning hair and all that, there is a moment where it does smell pretty good. And that moment passes very quickly as it starts to burn and the pustules burst under the pressure of the heat, expanding them. Little spurts emerge from the fire as that's happening.
What time of day is it?
About mid-afternoon. So, right. Is that satisfactory? Should we leave another fire burning behind us, or should we wait till this is done? We could set up camp here, I suppose, but that does put us a bit behind reaching Kalo.
No, I think we should move on. These are hallowed grounds. Not fit for a camp.
I'm not sure I'd consider this hallowed, but you are the holy man. And they will start moving again, dragging you all along. Curtis, what are you doing?
If you don't want spoilers,
I have no idea what I'm looking at.
It's we'll talk afterwards.
Perfect. So, the rest of your travel goes fairly unimpeded. Having all of you on lookout. Anytime there's a disruption in the road or Farney starts drifting a little bit, you manage to get right back on track pretty quickly. It seems today has taken quite a toll on them. So, what kind of place, scouts, are we looking for to set up for the night? Mavis and Brun.
I'd like something more hidden again with whatever was tracking us.
They had advised us not staying in the woods.
You continue, and the sun is down by this point. You've broken out a lantern or two to continue your travels. The woods are eerie. They are unsettling. You feel the shadows pressing in, and it's cooling off. There is a chill setting in. As you find your location for the night, you look up at the stars.
Oh my god, I was just about to ask if I could do that. So fun.
I'm in your head, man.
Are there 8 stars?
Very different.
Are there what?
I was going to say, is Damon's just going to be looking for 8 new stars.
It's hard to count. You see these stars and realize, Brun, that you recognize certain configurations in particular as those that preside over Kalo at this time of year. They're almost lined up in the sky just right. You will not get lost. You know the way going forward. Camp is set. A small fire is built yet again. Could you all please, for me, tell me what kind of order you want for your night watch?
So Duncan is going to insist that he takes the first watch, insisting that both Brun and Farney, you really need some shut-eye. I can feel you've been lagging behind today. It's kind of what we need for the team right now.
Farney looks at you offended, but is not going to argue at all.
That's what I thought.
Saying
Who's next?
We'll take the last watch. Duncan reminded us the importance of getting up early and having that routine.
Okay. Who else?
I'll go second.
Okay.
No. I'll go.
Why don't you take? Yeah, why don't you take last watch with Thane and leave Farney somewhere in the middle?
I was thinking give Farney the full night.
They are an elf.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
They don't really. Yeah, they need like 4, and they just
Yeah.
meditate. As long as they can meditate good, because it seems to have been not meditating very well.
They've been out of
The last
sorts, it
couple
seems.
nights. Out of sorts.
Yeah, I'll take Brun will take Thane's suggestion of taking the morning shift, the last one. With Thane in the
so
morning.
I swear,
Thane and
Yeah.
Brun.
if Farney
And could you-
explodes, I'm going to be very cross.
If
Farney
Farney
what?
explodes,
Explodes, yeah, like Pieball. Just I don't feel so good.
Oh, feels so good, Mr. Stark.
Yeah, and then just explodes. I'll be not happy.
Please, I have more exciting things planned.
there are way worse ways to die in Alexis.
We
There
all
are.
explode.
Teehee. So could everyone please roll for me your perceptions for the night?
All right, first watch 9 plus 4 for 13.
13 for Duncan.
Second watch is Neva.
Nevos.
Yeah, 12.
Okay.
Barney.
And Thane and Brun. Both of you average it, or somebody with advantage.
I will give Thane advantage, please.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, that's fine with me. I rolled a 10 on my first, so let's see how this goes. 17.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank fuck. Yeah, giving me advantage makes it a straight roll, and my average was a 6. Nah.
Would you have
All right.
disadvantage because you still would have slept and then woken up for the last shift?
That
would've
would
gotten your long
take
rest
your. Yeah, that would get you your
That would-
long rest unless there was an interruption.
I'm
Again.
assuming interruption. At this point, I will make
Please.
no assumptions until Alexis says you get your hit dice.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Speaking of hit dice, if you have any that you wanted to roll throughout the day, you're welcome to do that. And you would have taken some short rests along the way. Aside from that, Derek, you want to do campfire time?
Oh,
I've been very excited to hear about campfire time.
Let's have a fun campfire story. I guess there's not really any time. We can save that for another one. So for this we'll do just around dinner. I wanted to thank you all. I know I can be off-putting, but I feel like we've worked well together. Brun, you've told me a bit about yourself, where you came from, and I just wanted to offer a story from where I'm from. If I knew where, I would say, but unfortunately, I do remember a time when I was younger. As a boy, there was a ceremony every spring where we would gather in the courtyard. We would whisper names of those that we had lost, friends, family, neighbors, and we'd plant a seed of each person's favorite flower in our empty garden in the city center. It was done when the moon was fullest, only lit by starlight. And there's a year I was given the honor of remembering my family's past. I didn't understand at the age. I was too young. Well, shouldn't have been, but The slow walk. It was so quiet that it just didn't feel like a celebration. It was like a funeral. As I made my way to the empty plots, I screamed my grandparents' names as I planted their flowers. 2 bushes in pots set next to each other. Proudly continued my walk as the silence fell, really understanding what quiet was at that point. Looking back, I sincerely regret it. I ruined that moment for those that were looking at their own seeds, wishing to see them again. Someone pulled me aside and said, "We are not planting flowers, we're growing remembrance. You will carry many seeds. Perhaps too many to fit in your hand, but not too many to hold in your soul." Can't remember what they look like, but I remember the sad and knowing smile as they walked away. And they're right, the heaviness grows exponentially. To be honest, the weight of my seeds isn't what causes me the most grief. It's that I can only remember one of the flowers, the morning glory. It's been too long since the last time I've done it, but the druids helped me remember what I took for granted. I pull a packet out. I'd like to plant this death bloom for Jurgison, Pival, Piraeus, Cynthia, Benny, the encampment. To anyone that did not deserve this, as well as our own personal seeds. I want it to be a growing community that all deserves to be honored. For those we see in the stars, and for the light that they all bring us. And I would just like to find a nice patch of grass and plant some of it.
All right. You clear space, move some rocks out of the way, lay bare the soil, and put the seeds in. They are all unremarkable seeds. They all look the same. Based on what the druids had told you, though, each should produce a different flower. Ordinarily, these seeds are planted on the individual, therefore. So we'll see what happens with these. Anything from anyone else?
I'm gonna take the ring that I got from Piraeus, her wedding ring, I believe, and I'll place it down with the seeds as Nave was just kind of right about to bury them. I'm just gonna slip it in.
You place the ring around the seed planted for Piraeus, and it sits there, glinting with the firelight. That small inscription inside of it, hardly legible anymore. The moon is high at this point. The night is late. And if you don't start sleeping soon, you are not going to get your full rest. Anything from anyone else?
Duncan will assume watch.
All right. That seems like a good place to end for the evening then, friends. I'm so glad you could all be here. I feel like travel's getting easier. Like we're getting a little bit better at it. We're still going a day by day, but eventually, I promise, we will not be doing single days for single
There
sessions.
will be so much dramatic intrigue on these hikes. And also, we won't have a
But it
guy
also-
who's getting twitchy.
It also adds the it's like a cost to go somewhere.
Yeah. And also,
Yeah,
it's
y'all don't
like-
have fast travel yet.
And well, not even having just fast travel, but just like the, it takes a week. It takes It takes 4 days, 4 or 5 days to get to Kahlo. Okay, like it's a 4-day walk, like whatever. But like there's, especially when we're pushed for time like this, that's really adding like that
Right.
tower of stuff is just building behind us, and we got to go fast.
I have a star quick
Okay.
for Derek for bookending the session today, where it began. I don't know if this was intentional or not, but the session began pretty much with a story of his dream of all the flowers wilting in a garden, and then the session ended with him planting new flowers.
Very thematic.
That's
Yeah,
very
that was-
cute.
And
I like it.
incredible symmetry.
And I feel like we all. have to do
Anything
one.
else from anyone else? Does anybody have any wishes?
I wish
As much
I
as
knew
I love stars.
where he got those totems. Maybe in the future.
We're gonna tell
Perhaps
him,
over a glass of ale.
We'll meet him again. He had a drawing done of him.
Mhm.
I literally just have like priest and I just have the pilgrim in parentheses around it because that's just what Brun's gonna call him.
Uh-huh.
But no, I wish I get to play next week. I really,
Yeah.
really wish that I get to play next week.
Well, I mean, we're going to Kahlo, hopefully.
Yeah.
It'd be real sweet if you could be there
Yeah, it would.
to
It'd be
reach
real nice.
Kahlo. Be real cool of you.
Ev-
Until
Evan,
then,
did
I'm
you
gonna.
say you're
I
You're making
also
this-
will be on vacation starting next Monday.
Yeah,
I'm going out to the
what a
Poconos
shame.
and camping for the week.
Why would you come out here? It's not worth it.
I know, I wish, but
reward.
there's a paintball event.
You staying at my park?
Yeah,
Oh, you're going
Oh.
to paintball? Nice.
is it Normandy?
it is Normandy.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
I've been
The week after 4th of July.
I've been to that. That's the big fuck off park, isn't it? Like the.
Mm-hmm.
Ermish.
It's a couple square miles.
Skirmish.
I think the
we-
highest here was about like 5,500 people went.
No, I did that
All
for,
packed in
for
one.
I did
Okay,
that
well,
for a
come say
bachelor
hi at my
party.
park.
I did that for my
Come on
bachelor.
over to Hickory Run. Or Lehigh Gorge. You can shout into the gorge. I might hear you.
All right.
No, doing that for a bachelor party was a wild experience. It made me never want to go there for my bachelor party. Because did they give you the T-shirt?
No, I didn't get a T-shirt.
So
the hell?
they give a white T-shirt that says that's just like I'm getting married, and there's just a big crosshair on the front and the back. And they
Really funny.
the grooms they did. There was when we went, there were like four or five grooms that were there for like all for the same reason. So
Yeah, it's
the
a huge
best,
thing for that.
yeah. So like the best, they did a firing squad where the best men lined up.
Ooh.
And had
Ouch.
like they lined up along a track essentially, and the grooms had to run from point to point and back. So the grooms got shot first, and then they switched. So the best men got shot by all the grooms, and it was incredible to have nothing to do with it and just watch.
I was gonna say, looking back, like you should have gotten a free shot on all of us, especially like Jesse, just for like the years of putting up with us.
That's so true. Especially Jesse. What the hell?
I should have given you my bow. I think it hurts like hell.
Now I want to go do paintball.
I would be so scared of you on the paintball course, Alexis.
So
It's all one big
you
lark.
never saw me during Nerf. You
I
should be
heard the
scared.
horror stories.
I did make a kid pee himself twice.
What's
Same
weird is
kid?
Twice.
He
Same
didn't
kid,
even have
same day. It
Came
was the
back
same
for more.
spot on
same
campus
pair
too.
of pants.
Same pair of pants. He had not gone home to change.
Oh,
I think he was
so-
just into it. I think that's a different problem.
Oh no! Don't make me
I don't
pee
even know.
Oh no, scary! Ooh.
Hey Evan, what's this about a paintball bow? Because I
Yep.
am notably very good with a bow.
Well, if you're good with a bow, you're going to be good with. So I have a modified compound bow that has a paintball gun on it. So rather than
Uh-huh.
using compressed air, as you pull back, it fills your pneumatic chamber, and then as you let go, it forces that air through like this big S tube. It comes up behind
That
the ball
sounds
and shoots it out.
incredible.
The whole thing thumps. If stupid thing, but if you are familiar with skirmish with Normandy, if you look at some of the tapes, I'm the guy running on the beach with a bow. That's me.
No shit.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Amazing.
This is probably my 15th Ion in a row. Except for COVID, they canceled, but
That
going-
because I even
I was
fucking
15.
I remember seeing clips from that before we went because they were like, oh, we're going to skirmish, and I was like, who the fuck is this guy with a bow?
that's me.
That's
That's
fucking
me.
incredible.
I remember the worst part is, so I always go with my friend Brock, and every time we're like walking around, people ask us a million questions, or we're just like, it takes us an hour to get anywhere because people, is that a bow? Is that a compound bow? I'm like, yeah, and then I have to explain how the whole thing works, and we just never get anywhere.
You're
But yeah,
like
that's me in the
you're
videos.
like-
Evan,
the
let me be
fucking-
the scary dog.
Sorry.
Give me a chance.
Ruff, ruff, ruff.
I love that you're like the Scottish guy who stormed Normandy with a claymore playing the bagpipes. Like you're just
Mhm.
like absolutely no fear.
Yeah, that guy goes every
All
year
right.
too.
It's almost 10. Any final wishes for me so I can stop this recording?
This dude's got a lightsaber with him. That's crazy.
Oh, this one?
Amazing. Okay, I'm gonna
This
stop
is-
the
I don't-
recording.
This one's not even mine. Mine's
Oh, I-
somewhere else.
Sorry, I was watching the video. I just pulled it up.
Oh, I thought you were just looking at my background. Yes, this is one right here.
Yeah,